Update. My dad's 43 girlfriend is trying to get rid of me 15F. Op. Hi. Since my last post I spoke to my grandparents and told them everything. I asked if I could stay with them if I wanted to and they agreed. I then spoke to my dad again and tried to tell him how I felt and what I had heard. I didn't want to film or record because I knew that he would be mad at that and wouldn't listen. He didn't believe me again and thought that I was jealous of having to share him with someone else. I got upset and told him that I was leaving so he could live happily ever after without the burden of having me around. He looked shocked but didn't say anything. I had already packed my bags and had brought some things to my grandparents' house already. My dad didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My grandfather picked me up and I've been there since. I haven't gone home and I haven't heard from my dad. My grandparents told me that they would handle my dad and that I shouldn't have to be the one doing it. I'm upset that my dad hasn't called or texted me once to see if I'm okay. At the same time I'm feeling so much better being with my grandparents. My grandmother is probably the sweetest person ever and my grandfather is a little rough around the edges but he's really a softie. I'm so glad that your grandparents are such awesome people who will show you the love that your dad should have been showing you all along, and that they are willing to deal with your dad for you. It's too big of a burden for you to need to carry yourself. Maybe someday your dad will realize what he's done, but always remember that allowing him back into your life should be your choice and done on your terms. You absolutely made the right decision. Your dad is a fool, and one day he will realize how stupid he was to mess up his relationship with you. You've tried and tried. Now he needs to be the one to make the effort to repair his relationship with you. Stay with your grandparents and keep away from that wretched woman.
Your grandparents are amazing people. Shame the same can't be said of your father. I will never understand parents who choose their love lives over their children. You're better off without him anyway, just focus on living your best life right now.
Just a thought, get your paperwork since you'll need that soon.
Hopefully your grandparents are already chasing dad for support. He doesn't get off scot-free here. He can pay your expenses without having the pleasure of your company.
Are you okay? How are you holding up? Deadpan face.
Give your grandparents a huge hug from me. They're awesome and you're lucky to have them in your life and on your side. Your grandfather may be rough around the edges, as you say, but he put a roof over your head and came and brought you home. I'm going to suggest that you speak to a therapist about everything. You need to be able to process what happened and learn to move forward in a productive way. Good luck to you.
You did the right thing. This is more common than you think. My father did the same thing. I left for my grandparents because he didn't want to be a dad. Do not go back without an apology from both of them. Do not let your father apologize on her behalf. I'd argue that you shouldn't go back at all unless he dumps her. I can't help but get mad at the fact that this lady got what she wanted. It's not fair. I've been in a similar situation where my biological father chose his girlfriend over his own daughter and it sucks. So I know what it's like being so young and not knowing whether you're in the wrong or not. And you know what? You're not IMHO. I really hope your dad opens his eyes and realizes what this lady is really about before it's too late. I'm so sorry for the loss of your mom, but I'm glad that you have your grandparents there for you. Grandparents are the best. I wish you nothing but the best. This situation happens a lot. You are not alone. Keep your head held high. You did the right thing.
You made the right decision. You made the best choice for you. Like others have said, your dad will at some point wake up and realize the damage he has done to your and his relationship. It may not be within the next few weeks or even months. But he will realize that what he's done is awful. But I'm so glad you're happy now with your grandparents and that you're receiving the love and care you deserve. Please update with any news if he gets in touch or changes his way. You're amazing. Your mom would be so hurt by your dad treating you like that, but she would be so proud of you for picking yourself up and getting the hell out of there.
You did the best thing possible and I'm so happy that you're feeling better. Just know that sometime, in a few months or years, your dad is going to come crawling back. Stay strong and do what's best for you.
I'm glad you're with your grandparents. From the original story, it seems like you're in a better place. I'm also sorry that your dad hasn't spoken to you since you've left. He seems like he just wants to be with his girlfriend and that's what he deserves. Grief is a terrible thing and it sucks that you and your dad both had that lonely period after your mom passed, but that doesn't give him the right to treat you so terribly. In all honesty, you're the one who's being the most mature put of the three of you, and I'm glad you've left that horrible situation. As someone who doesn't have a good relationship with their dad, I can tell you that it's something that'll bother you for life, even if they apologize. But you stood up for yourself, and that's what matters. Best of luck to you.
Your dad is a failure as a father, and one day, he will realize it. I'm sorry for what you're going through, but you seem strong well beyond your years.
I really hate the culture where we dismiss teenagers. It's pathetic, ignorant, and not even close to what it was like, let's say, 10 years ago. Kids can and are a part of the real world in today's age.
Yas girl. Your grandparents are 100% right saying that you shouldn't be dealing with that shit. You're your father's child and he is the adult in this situation, and it's not the other way around. I'm saying this cause I had a somewhat similar situation at home, cause since I was a kid I had to be the adult and take care of my family's emotional needs, and it really affected me. Also, my mom would always put her boyfriends before me, and that was soul-crushing. To this day I'm paying the price for this. I've been in therapy for a long, long time. Please, stay with your grandparents, as they will be able to fulfill your emotional needs and act as parent figures since your father failed so much. Your personality is still shaping, and it would suck if it was affected by trauma.
You made a really tough decision, but picking yourself and your well-being is always the best thing. Hopefully you and your grandparents can start your own traditions for birthdays and Christmas and Easter and all the other holidays. Your dad will realize he fucked up. Whether he realizes it when his girlfriend dumps him, or when you're getting married and it's your granddad walking you down the aisle, he'll know. Save this post and remember how you felt before you decide to let him back into your life on your terms. He failed you once when your mom died, my condolences, and he wasn't there for you, and now again. Remember that. Good luck otherwise. You have more strength and character than most of us. Your grandparents saying it isn't something you should have to be handing on your own is 100% the best thing they could say. Sorry about your dad, but glad you have great grandparents.
I'm happy you're now in a much safer and happier place with your grandparents, and I wish you the best of luck growing heart. As a divorced dad, I'd drop my girlfriend in a heartbeat if my kid had serious issues with them. Sorry, you're great, but it's causing a rift here. Hope you understand. Good luck. I'm so glad you moved out and are with your grandparents who will love and support you. Your dad handled this terribly. He should have gradually introduced you to each other over time. Enjoy your new life, and please remember that if your dad doesn't get in touch, it says much more about him than it does about you. I am really happy to hear that you're out of that situation, but it's infuriating to know that your dad's girlfriend's plan succeeded. She got rid of you and managed to isolate your dad. I really hope this all ends well for the whole family. And she gets kicked to the curb. You did the right thing. Make sure to get your social security card, birth certificate, and stuff like that. Also, if your dad tries to make you come home, be sure to look into grandparent rights in your state, or wherever you are. They can get custody that way if he tried making you come home. Also, in most places you're old enough that the courts will take your choice into consideration.
That is insane. I have a daughter, only a toddler now, but I love her more than anything I've ever loved. I couldn't imagine you going through this.
I instructed one teen to keep her cell phone on her and record audio and video of her mom's boyfriend sleazing around her. Got the bastard on audio saying that once he married mom, he would take her little girl's cherry as well. Threatened violence if the girl told. The recordings were played to the local constabulary. Mom was brought in, and played the recordings. She was shocked. So when boyfriend was entering the home, suddenly 2 cops were at either side. The audio recording was played for him, and he stood up and threatened to murder both mom and daughter. Mom got a restraining order. We went just a little further. I wanted the sob gone from town, state and world if possible. Had the tapes played for his boss and head of human resources. He was let go at their earliest opportunity.
Remember how much he values his relationship with you. He dropped you for his GF. Your grandparents are the ones that really care about you. You did the right thing here. I'm glad you have very loving grandparents. Between you and your dad, you were the adult in the situation. This is something he's going to sorely regret in the future.
When your dad discovers he's with a crazy bitch that succeeded in keeping you away from him, he's going to get around. Sooner or later I'm sure he's going to come back to you and apologize for only believing his stupid girlfriend. You're his only immediate family and he's going to realize how much he misses you. This may take some time though. Meanwhile, make yourself your priority and concentrate on the present moment. You are lucky to have been able to move away from your dad's unhealthy relationship and live with people who love and respect you. Focus on this new chapter of your life and don't look back. Good luck, Op.
You should have recorded her. Even if your dad got angry, he deserves the wake-up call.
Op, the sad truth is that you have a shitty father. He has a history of being shitty. He was shitty and self-centered when you were 10 and he decided he was too sad to raise you but didn't bother getting anyone else in to make sure you got what you needed. And he's being shitty and self-centered again now. Some of us unfortunately do have crappy parents, a crappy parent. My only advice is that it's good to recognize people for what they are early on, and come to terms with it, and act accordingly. Exactly like a romantic breakup. Hanging around hoping doesn't do you any good. I'm glad you've got some responsible adults in your life that will do their best by you.
Oh sweetie, I'm so sorry your dad did this, but I'm so glad you have a solid support system in your grandparents. When my parents divorced, I was already grown and moved out, but my sister was 13. She took it really hard and my dad made no effort to see her. 13 years later, they have a distant relationship. It's sad to see, but men like our dads made their choices and will one day face them. Sending you lots of hugs.
You are all the most gullible of shits.
Now you need to get the grandparents to be your legal guardians. Otherwise they can't make decisions on your behalf for school, etc.
How can you put your kid behind a new woman? Especially a kid that is half your dead wife's that you supposedly loved so much.
Your father unfortunately is selfish. It's not okay when someone mistreats your and your own father, who should believe you and trust that you're telling the truth, would pick this woman. But I think it's good now that you've gotten away from that environment and your grandparents sound wonderful. I hope things work out for you.
Whether or only I get downvoted, or I got here too late, but I feel you need to hear this. Your dad may still be in grief over your mother, and this new girlfriend is a coping mechanism. He's decided he can't be alone. It doesn't excuse his actions by any means, but it might help understand what he's feeling, and why he's so defensive. Now as for the GF, I'd be willing to wager she's taking advantage of his emotional instability to get what she wants, and isolate him so he can be hers. This is a red flag of an emotionally abusive person. I hope he comes back from this, and when he does, please let him make an effort to repair the relationship and truly apologize before you cast your judgment.
Hi. I can speak from experience when I say that you are so much better off getting away. When I was 16, my dad married a 24-year-old Hooters waitress. My mom had just died and this bitch hated me. She ripped up pictures I had of my parents together, burned my books, clothes, etc. My dad even told me he never loved my mom after she told him to. He regrets it now. They're long over with. Sooner or later, your dad will realize what a terrible father he's being, and it will be your choice whether you want to put effort into salvaging that relationship. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this, at your age especially. Keep your head up and try not to worry about your dad right now. Focus on you. Best of luck.
Please remember this. How your dad and his girlfriend treat you has nothing to do with you as a person. There is nothing wrong with you. This situation is his failing, and hopefully someday he can make up for it. Now is the time in your life when you get to decide who you want to be and where you'll go in life. Focus on that. Focus on what your mom would want for you and make her proud. You sound like an awesome teen, less than 3.
I'm sorry this is happening to you, but the sad truth is that some people are just selfish assholes. I had a similar situation in my youth, and Dad is now an old man, isolated from his kids and grandkids. He's a narcissist, so I'm sure he blame everything on us and accepts no blame, but again, he's just a lonely old man now. Appreciate your gran, and stay close with your other family members and choose your friends wisely through the years, and you'll have a happy life. Pity your father that he's so weak and stupid. Good luck. You made the right decision. Your dad's a loser.
My grandmother is probably the sweetest person ever, and my grandfather is a little rough around the edges, but he's really a softie. Damn, this hit me so hard. I really miss my grandparents. If your dad values his girlfriend than his daughter, tough luck. He probably wants to start a new chapter in his life without any baggage.
I'm getting great satisfaction ignoring my aging parents who abused or neglected me as I was growing up. You may as well one day. Edit, you may think it is cruel, but rest assured, those who only see you as an object as a child and refuse to change habits or accept responsibility later in life are sure to repeat abuse later in life. If they only care about you because they need you, they are not worth it. Trust me. I learned the hard way. If your dad will throw his kid away over a dumb rebound, that's his fault. Don't put up with that shit. And later in life hell come needing you, and you'll be able to say, where were you when XX, etc.
My dad chose to worship Trump over having a relationship with me and my 2 children, 3-year-old twins. He also has a girlfriend that he says is more important than his family. I am his only child. I vote Democrat and he said all Democrats should die. He also said he felt sorry for my children that I was their mother. We haven't spoken since March. I am better off but it still hurts.
Docs the stepmom, I just wanna talk.
Truth is your dad is probably wondering what the hell is going on as everyone is telling him conflicting things that he is seeing none of. Stop asking Reddit for help, you will never get a non-bias answer in subbullshit like these. Some odd people that like trying to live their past through others. Talk to your grandparents and your friends as they know you and your character to give you proper advice relevant to your situation. Your dad will call, he is probably letting things settle down and knows you are in good hands. You took the perfect actions. Seriously, you went about this the best possible way. You repeatedly tried to voice your feelings and concerns and was shut down. And you even gave him one last chance to believe you before leaving. Then you stuck to your word, moved out, and are now with people who will care for you and keep you safe. As an internet stranger, I'm incredibly proud of you.
Love makes people blind. I went through the same thing with my dad and eventually moved out. Not even a year later he split with her and realized the mistakes he made. He's been all there for me ever since then.
I have a very bad feeling about this post and the original one. Am I the only one thinking something is off here?